Hi everybody, and welcome to the second Houston Theater Beat Christmas special. I'm your host, John Lazo, here with our Christmas elf, Harley, ready to hop on the HTB sleigh. As always, we'll be visiting area theaters to find out what's going on for Christmas and how the Houston theater community celebrates the holiday season. Our first stop is at Playhouse 1960, where a very talented cast will perform musical numbers from the classic family musical, Oliver. Then it's a good thing sleighs can use the HOV lane, because our next stop is in Clear Lake, where we'll pay a visit to Clear Creek Community Theater for a look at their unique production of A Christmas Carol. And our final stop is at Theater Southwest for a look at their production of How the Other Half Loves, which opens New Year's Eve as a part of TSW's annual New Year's Gala. So climb on board and let's get started. Everybody, this is the first stop on our HTB Christmas sleigh, going around to the theaters to see what they're doing for Christmas. And I'm here at Playhouse 1960, and they've chosen to do Oliver, one of the great classic musicals in musical theater history, as their celebration for the holiday season. And I'm being joined by Tina Cafeo, who is the director of Oliver, by Scarlett Zarnopoulos, she's playing Nancy. Down on the end, I have Becky Lou Ruiz. She's playing Widow Corney. And right here behind me, hiding a little bit, is Gareth Bell, and he's playing Oliver. And everybody, Tina and cast members, thank you very much for joining me on Houston Theater Beat.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Tina, it's one of the great musicals in the history of musical theater and a great choice on 1960's part for the holiday season. What has the experience been like for you? I noticed that you have a cast of thousands as I was here today. And have you been having fun? What's it been like?
I have been having an absolute blast. This cast is like from heaven. This show has always been so close to my heart, you know. It's a fabulous classical show that I just will never get tired of being a part of.
Sure.
You know, and as a matter of fact, 20 years ago I did this show, and my grandson was one of the orphans.
Oh, neat.
And I love it. I think it's a wonderful holiday show for anybody who has visitors from out of town coming in town to entertain them.
Sure.
You know, because it's a family-oriented show.
Absolutely.
Good, wholesome, you know, all-around American musical.
Absolutely, absolutely. Scarlett, Nancy's one of my favorite characters. She has some beautiful songs. What has the experience been like for you being part of Oliver?
Well, it's been challenging. It's definitely, the songs are so well known in the show that you kind of feel like you have to raise your performance level to meet everybody's standards. I'm really excited about it because this is a show that I've always wanted to do, playing this role. I've done it once before, not as Nancy, but this is going to be very exciting for me to be able to perform it as Nancy.
So you've been in the show before, but now you're kind of doing like your dream role because you'd wanted to be Nancy?
Yes.
It's always special for an actor to get to do that.
Exactly.
That's great. That's great. Becky Lou, I wanted to ask you about, I saw you coming up the stairs in your dress. You said you have 6 hoops under there. The costumes are gorgeous. Have you been having fun with the show?
I've been having a lot of fun. The hoop skirt is a challenge, especially when they showed me the 3-foot steps.
Sure.
With no handrail. So we negotiated and I got a handrail.
Good.
So that'll work.
Right. It looks gorgeous. And of course,
Thank you.
you're one of the great voices in Houston. You've been having fun doing the show.
Yeah,
Great
this
numbers.
is my 3rd time to do Oliver.
Great.
My 2nd time to play the widow. And it definitely is a very good part for me, and I enjoy the show.
That's fantastic. Good. And last but not least, I have Gareth Bell, who's right here behind me, and he's playing Oliver. And Gareth, what's playing Oliver been like for you? Are you having fun?
Well, I'm having a lot of fun, and I think it's just an amazing opportunity for a boy my age to just come out here and have fun playing Oliver.
That's great. Fantastic. Well, everybody stay tuned, because what we have coming up right now is some music and dancing from Playhouse 1960's production of Oliver, and that's coming up right now.
She was from the country, but now she's in the factory. She led to California and lead her along. Once they used to cry, and she's made to bed to lie. She's glad.
me take this lad to task. May I be so curious as to ask his name? Oliver! Never before has a boy wanted me. Oliver! He won't ask for more when he knows what's in store. There's a dark, thin, winding stairway without any banister, which will throw him down and feed him on coffee served in a canister. Oliver!
What will we do when he turns black and blue? He'll rue the day somebody named him Oliver.
Never before has a boy asked for more.
Oliver!
Won't ask for more when he knows what's in store. There's a smoothie chimney, long overdue for a sweeping out, which will push him home. And one day next year, when the rats will be creeping out.
Oliver! What will we do with this terrible stew?
He will rue the day somebody named him
Oh, all right. Lock him up, collect his belongings, and bring him back to me when you're through. To bed, all of you!
Tina and actors, thank you very much for the music from Oliver. That's fantastic stuff, absolutely. Tina, can you give the Houston Theater Beat audience information about the dates of the show, and we'll give them the website so they can go find out about the show and, most importantly, buy tickets?
Yes. Oh, I'd love to.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
The website is playhouse1960.com. And then our show dates, we open December 6th, and we run every Friday and Saturday for 3 weeks. We are adding one Sunday performance, so December 6th and 7th, December 13th, 14th, and 15th, and the 15th is the matinee, and that will be at 3 o'clock. The Friday, Saturday shows are at 8 o'clock, and we also run December 20 and 21st.
Good. And the Houston Theater Beat audience can buy tickets to the show through the Playhouse 1960 website.
Yes, they can.
Good. So don't forget, go to www.ph1960.com. Don't forget Playhouse 1960 is a .com website. And make sure you find out information about Oliver, and make sure you get your tickets to come join the folks here at 1960 as they produce this classic musical perfect for the holiday season. I'd like to thank my guests here at Playhouse 1960, Tina Catheo, who's the director of Oliver, Scarlett Zarnopoulos, who's playing Nancy, Becky Lou Ruiz, there on the end, she's playing Widow Corney, and Gareth Bell, who's playing Oliver. And everybody stay tuned, we're going to be back with more of the Christmas special in just a moment. Hi everybody, we're at our second stop on this year's HTB Christmas Sleigh, going around to all the theaters and seeing what's up for Christmas. And I'm down here in Clear Lake at Clear Creek Community Theater with the director and some of the actors from Clear Creek's production, which is an original adaptation of course, Dickens' classic A Christmas Carol. And I'm very happy to be joined for this segment by Thomas Meek, who is the director of A Christmas Carol here at Clear Creek, by Bob Pepys, who's playing Scrooge, and also by Brandon Hobroch, who's playing Marley. And actors, and Thomas, thank you very much for joining me on the Christmas special. It's good to have you, absolutely. Thomas, of course, I've spent many happy moments on the Clear Creek stage. I love the theater, and I love working here. It's great to be. I'm great to be here. I'm so glad you all were able to be on the Christmas special. This is your first time directing on stage, and it's really exciting because what you all have is an original adaptation of Christmas Carol. Tell the Houston Theater Beat audience about that, your particular production.
Well, yeah, and our production is an original adaptation of Dickens' Christmas Carol. What makes our production unique is that we've actually interwoven some of his other Christmas stories, because Dickens, everyone knows Christmas Carol, but Dickens also wrote many other stories. There's one called The Christmas Tree, there's The Goblins That Stole the Sexton, and all of these stories make us at least a small appearance in the show. our opening scene has Mrs. Cratchit reading the story of the goblins that stole the sextant to the Cratchit children.
Right.
And then we transition to the street scene again, where we see a puppet show continuing the story.
Oh, neat. So all of those stories are sort of woven into the fabric.
In and around the original Christmas Carol that everybody knows and loves.
That's very cool, very cool. What a great approach. Very unique, absolutely. Bob, he is one of the iconic characters that we always expect to see at Christmas. Are you having fun with Scrooge, and what has the experience been like for you?
Yes, I'm having a great time.
We can tell.
Playing this iconic character.
Right.
Bah humbug.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. And is this the first time you've played Scrooge? Have you played Scrooge before?
Many, many years ago when I was 23.
Wow. So it's a very different Scrooge experience for you this time, obviously. It's really cool because in this case I have, with the actors that I have the partners that you'll notice. And Brandon, of course, you're playing Marley, which is a character I've always wanted to play. I've never had the chance. Are you having fun? What's the experience been like? Are you rattling the chains when you come back?
Well, I'm not rattling the chains yet. I think we're going to work on that in the next couple of rehearsals.
Okay.
But, the experience has been great. I was lucky enough to play this part 4 years ago at a different theater. So what Thomas was saying, the different adaptations, there's an interjection of a very good, almost Shakespearean-esque monologue that Marley does in this one that's very challenging and very good. So, and then of course playing opposite Bob Peoples, always a good thing.
Always a lot of fun, right?
And then Thomas has been great to work with.
Sure, absolutely. That's fantastic. Thank you, actors, very much. Well, what we're going to see right now is a scene from Clear Creek's original adaptation production of A Christmas Carol. And stay tuned because that's coming up right now.
Out upon Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. A time for balancing your books and finding everything in them presented dead against you. If I had my way, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. So should he.
Uncle!
Oh, nephew, you keep Christmas in your way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it? But you don't keep it!
Then leave it alone. Much good may it do you. Much good has it ever done you.
There are many things by which I might have derived good, from which I have not profited. Christmas, I dare say, among the rest. But I'm sure I've remembered Christmas time when it has come round, apart from the veneration due its sacred name and origin. If anything belonging to it can truly be apart from that. As a kind time, a good time, a pleasant time, a forgiving time. The only time I know of in the long calendar of the year where men and women seem, by one consent, to freely open their hearts and to truly think of the people below them as fellow passengers on the journey to the grave and on some other race of creatures bound on other journeys. And therefore, I say to you, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, it has done me good, and it will do me good, and therefore I say, God bless it!
I hear another sound out of you, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. Oh, quite an eloquent speaker. It's a wonder you're not in Parliament.
Come, Uncle, don't be angry. Come dine with us tomorrow.
Oh, of course I'll come dine with you in the company of the devil.
But why? Why?
Good afternoon.
Actors and Thomas, thank you very much for that scene from Christmas Carol here at Clear Creek. I appreciate it. Your original adaptation, some unique twists on Christmas Carol. Thomas, the Houston Theater Beat audience is definitely going to want to come down and see the show. If you live inside the Loop on the north side of the town, it's definitely worth the drive. Come down to Clear Creek and see the show. You have the information on the dates and also the website, right?
Yeah, tickets can be bought on our website, which is www.clearcreekcommunitytheater.com. And there's a big shiny buy tickets button there. We've also got our phone number on the website, and reservations can be made by telephone. Our show opens December 6th and runs to the 22nd. And shows are Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 2:30. We also have two 2:30 Saturday matinees on the 13th and the 20th.
Great. So there's plenty of opportunities to come down and see the show. And also make sure you go to the Clear Creek website to get all of your information about Christmas Carol. Again, that's www.clearcreekcommunitytheater.com. Remember, Clear Creek is a .com theater, so make sure you get the website right. I'd like to thank my guests for this segment of the Christmas show, Thomas Meek, who's the director of Christmas Carol here at Clear Creek, and of course the actors Bob Peoples, who's playing Ebenezer Scrooge, and Brandon Hobroch, who's playing Marley. And stay tuned because we're going to be back with more of the show in just a moment. Hi everybody. Well, this is the third and final stop of our Christmas sleigh, which is taking the Houston theater beat all over Houston to find out what the theaters are doing for the holiday season. And our final stop is here at Theater Southwest, where I'm being joined by the director and some of the cast members of the comedy How the Other Half Loves, which is being presented here at Theater Southwest. And we are straying a little bit from our Christmas theme in that How the Other Half Loves is being presented by Theater Southwest opening New Year's Eve as part of their annual New Year's Eve Gala, which also features the opening of a show. So that's very exciting, and I'm being joined here at Theater Southwest by David Hemel, who's the director of the show, by Chris Hemel, who's playing Fiona, and by Scott Holmes, who's playing Frank. And David, actors, thank you very much for joining me for a Houston Theater Beat Christmas special. It's great to be here. David, tell the Houston Theater Beat audience a little bit about How the Other Half Loves. It's by Alan Ayckbourn, one of my personal favorite playwrights. And what can they expect when they come?
Well, it's a farce. I mean, plain and simple, it's a farce. It's about two people having an affair. Of course, the people having the affair are the wife of the boss is having an affair with one of his employees. And of course, in an effort not to get caught, the two of them conspire to blame the wife of a third employee who is as innocent as rainbows and unicorns.
Right.
So, and of course, all the comedy of errors you would expect to happen with the confusion. There's phone calls, there's phantom phone calls, there's a dinner party that takes place at both apartments, 2 separate nights, but happens simultaneously on stage. In fact, the whole stage is 2 separate apartments set on the same stage. So they're playing in each other's space, yet it's 2 distinct homes. And the whole dinner scene is a riot because the actors that are invited over to these 2 separate dinners have to continually change from one dinner party to the other while never leaving the table. And it's really timing, and it's what a farce is.
Right. So. Wow, it sounds like a lot of fun.
Oh,
And it sounds like a little bit of a challenge, too, for you and for the actors as well. It's a good
Yes,
thing.
yeah, it is, and that's, I mean, that's why we do this. I mean,
Sure.
if it was easy, we wouldn't do it, right?
Right.
We do
That's
part
for
of the challenge.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Chris, talk a little bit about Fiona. I understand that this is not the first time that you and Scott have played husband and wife, and there seems to be a pattern here.
Yes.
Tell the Houston Theater Beat audience a little bit about that. It's a funny story.
I have been lucky enough to be married to Scott at several theaters in several shows, and every time I either hate him or I'm trying to kill him.
Right.
I'm never nice to him. And it's such a shame because his character in the show is so sweet, and Fiona is so pretentious, and she obviously is the one having the affair, and just takes total advantage of her poor husband, played by Scott.
That's too bad. But it sounds like you're having fun with the show, though.
Yes, it is. It's so much fun. The lines are so funny that we have to stop and laugh every
Sure.
time what some of the lines are said, because every time it's funnier.
That's fantastic. And Scott, talk about Frank.
Well, Frank is incredibly oblivious to the world around him.
Right.
I think he has adult onset attention deficit disorder. he can never quite finish a sentence. He always ends up going off on a tangent one way or another. And there's all of these crystal clear clues that his wife is having an affair, and he doesn't see any of them.
Oh, cool.
So Frank is a fool, not to be too alliterative, but Frank is a fool, and he's a lot of fun to play.
Absolutely. So you're having fun playing Frank as well. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun, you guys. And everybody stay tuned, because what we're going to see right now is a scene from How the Other Half Loves, right here at Theater Southwest, opening New Year's Eve. And that's coming up right now.
We were just saying what a nice room this is.
Room?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I suppose it is. But then I've seen it before, haven't I? Well, here we are. Cheers.
Cheers.
Excuse me. You know, I'm going to say something to the two of you, and you can take it as you will. Now, my wife and I, we've been married for, well, it was our anniversary yesterday, for, well, God knows how many years. And there are times when acrimony creeps in. In other words, we drive each other up the wall. And at times like that, I say to myself, Frank, it could be worse. It's better than nothing. And the older I get, the better it is, and the bigger the nothing. So, my advice is stick it out. Stick it out. Don't do things now that you'll regret when you get too old like me to want to do them anymore. And that's all I'll say on the matter. Cheers.
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 Hello. Is Frank taking good care of you, I hope? Dinner won't be long now.
Oh, good. I'm starved. I think we all are.
Well, Frank, you left your shoes on the stove. I thought you might need them.
Ah.
So what have we all been talking about? Anything interesting?
Oh, no. We've just been chatting.
Just chatting.
Chatting.
Chatting, yes. Well, it won't be long now.
Ah. Thank you, dear.
Excuse me, I wonder if I could just go up and wash my hands.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, I better give you directions. Better explain the geography, if you will. Oh, thank you very much. Just a loose bow, if you will. Now, you go up one flight. There's a door on your left. Pass it. You'll also pass the door that's straight ahead of you. Now, after that, if you'll follow the hallway, which sort of tends to wind around on itself, if you see what I mean. Oh, ready for the other one, are you? Now, the third door on your left, after you make the turn, is the guest room. Now, if you want the bathroom, it is almost diagonally opposite it on the right.
Thank you, yes.
Oh, by the way, the toilet's difficult to flush. See, we're away all summer, and the corrosion tends to lead to corrosion in the wire that's fixed to the thing that leads to the plunger in the tank where the water is.
Right.
Oh, my dear. My dear, all men go through this thing from time to time, but it blows over.
It does?
Oh, invariably. Now, I'm not going to pretend that he is not going to be a great asset to the department, and that insofar as it's in my ability, I need to make sure that he's happy, but that includes you, my dear.
Thank you.
See, my wife filled me in about you.
Did she?
Oh, yes, we don't have any secrets among us. She told me all about your little meeting.
What meeting?
Oh, last night.
I didn't go to any meeting.
Oh, no, you're meeting with her.
I was at home.
Home?
Yes, watching television.
But I thought she told television. Did you see the show about the three men?
Oh, yes, very peculiar, wasn't it?
Found it on the first try.
Oh, well, good for you.
While I was in there, I took the liberty of easing the pin on your ball cock.
Oh, well, as long as you enjoyed yourself.
David and actors, thank you very much for that scene from How the Other Half Loves. Very funny stuff going on here at Theater Southwest. And Scott, I understand you have the information for the Houston Theater Beat audience about tickets and the dates of the show, and specifically about the gala that happens on New Year's Eve. Can you share that information with the audience?
Sure. Every year, Theater Southwest, instead of doing a Christmas show, we rehearse through Christmas, not Christmas Day, of course, and we open the show on New Year's Eve. It's a very special performance. We call it our New Year's Gala. The tickets are $55 per person and $105 for a couple. Now that amount gets you appetizers before the show, appetizers in intermission, a full meal, and dancing, and of course the countdown to New Year's at midnight.
Sure.
And then more dancing after that. So it is a complete evening. Everything is provided for that amount, and it is a real bargain.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
literally
fantastic.
everything. You want for nothing, including party hats, by the way.
Very good, good. Sounds like a great place to ring in the new year
It
here
is.
at
It
Theater
is.
Southwest.
We fill the house every year, and people absolutely love it.
And in case the Houston Theater Beat audience can't be here for New Year's Eve, when does the show close?
Well, the show runs for 3 weekends after New Year's, and I wish I had the dates in my head, but I'm
all
afraid
right.
I don't. There are 2 matinees because it is a somewhat foreshortened run.
Sure.
So the first Sunday and the second Sunday of the run following New Year's, we have a matinee at 3 o'clock.
Okay, so it opens New Year's Eve and then runs for 3 weekends.
Right. Friday, Saturday, 8 o'clock. First 2 weekends, Sunday at 3.
And Sundays at 3. Good. And you have the Theater Southwest website?
Yes, it's www.theatersouthwest.org.
Right. www.theatersouthwest.org is Theater Southwest's website. You see the graphic there at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you go to the Theater Southwest website, check out information about How the Other Half Loves, and if you can, go ahead and try to make your reservations for the New Year's Eve Gala, which promises to be a lot of fun. And also make sure you get your tickets for the show and find out information about the show. Well, I'd like to thank my guest, David Hemel, who's the director of How the Other Half Loves, Chris Hemel, who is playing Fiona, and Scott Holmes, who's playing Frank. And everybody stay tuned because we're going to be back with more of the show in just a moment. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of the theaters who so graciously welcomed Houston Theater Beat into their houses in 2013, as well as my wonderful in-studio guests. And make sure you join me right here in 2014 for more music, plays, interviews, and fun on Houston Theater Beat. On behalf of Houston Media Source and Harley, I'd like to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a happy holiday season. And until next time, I'll see you at the show.